All right, says we live.
I'm trying to check real quick. Oh, damn. It says, it's like,
We good.
okay. All right. Shalom, shalom. You know, another GMS lesson, another GMS collaboration. Before we get into this lesson, we want to start out by giving our honor, our glory, and our praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh,
Yahweh Bahashem,
Hashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh
Bahashem,
Shai, Bashim Kodash. Yep. Next up, the honor to our apostle, Elders Great Millstone, who taught us and understand truth for the Bible, who rule well. Peace, love, citations to all the brothers across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth in all diligence and sincerity. Like I said before, through the spirit, another GMS collaboration, GMS Raleigh, GMS Charlotte, GMS Louisiana. We were able to get up and again another week, put together a little bit of edifying lesson on, recompense is coming, man, to these heathens, chiefly the so-called white man, Esau Edom, right? So we're just going to dive right into it.
All right. This is start Revelation.
Kind of. Don't be shy.
All right, this is Revelation chapter 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
That's right, man. That's what we're waiting on. Who are the saints? The saints are the Israelites, man. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. This is what into patience goes into to suffer, man. Right? We're suffering right now in our captivity. We're waiting patiently on the Heavenly Father, the Son, His only begotten Son, to come and put these other nations in subjection. Why? Because they led us into captivity. They led us into a place that we are still in to this day, man. Chiefly the so-called white man Esau Edom. 500 years of hardcore bondage slavery, right? On the cargo slave ships where millions upon millions of Jakes were put to death just from crossing over the seas before, the hardcore slavery of the Negroes, so-called Negroes and West Indians and Haitians. Putting to death you natives here, you so-called Hispanics and so-called Native Americans. That's all part of the same thing, man. One of those that thing had to happen first for the next that come after it, man. There was no separate separate thing. So with all that being said, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. This devil has used his sword, his blessing, right, to put you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to death ever since he lost that blessing, man. So what? That's gonna come right back onto him, man.
That's right. I had a precept for you to add on to that point.
I got a precept too.
Because Esau pretty much has continued to, press so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, and just like ancient Pharaoh, he has refused to let the Lord's people go. So we are still found in his hand until this day. All right. And to add on to that point, this is Exodus chapter 21, verse 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, and is that not what he did to us? We on some auction blocks, that's how Black Wall Street, was not Black Wall Street, Wall Street, got established. We were the first stocks. The reason why insurance was started off of us. So Esau, he sold it. He stole us and he sold it. So it says, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. And we are found in his hand to this day. Because like I say, Esau refuses to let us go. So we're still suffering from mental slavery, spiritual slavery, debt slavery, just because he took the yoke of iron off our necks, that doesn't mean that you people are free, man. We're still slaves to the point where Esau put his own people in slavery, man. But he's going to pay for putting the chosen people, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, chosen people into slavery, man. He's going to be put to death for that because we're still found in his hand. That's you got it.
So you say you have one, brother?
Yeah, yeah, I got one. I was looking for another one, but I'll bring this one out. This is Jeremiah 30 verse 16, just to back up that revelation. This is Jeremiah 30 verse 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be
Come on,
devoured, and all thine
come on.
adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity. Hey, he that leadeth into captivity, as it says here and in Revelation, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. And while all these heathen nations had a hand in our oppression, as pursuant to Psalms 83, whose name always comes out at the top of the list? These Edomites. These Edomites did the most to the nation of Israel. Those European Edomites enslaved the northern kingdom in the Americas. They brought the southern kingdom from Europe and the west coast of Africa to the Americas. And as it says in Isaiah chapter 47, they exceeded the what the Most High wanted them to do to us. They showed no mercy, and they spoiled us back then, and they continue to spoil us today. It would be, we could do videos that were hours long, just going on to the different horrific things that these Edomites did
Mm-hmm.
to all 12 tribes. To the northern kingdom, you would hang up northern kingdom women and cut their babies out of their bellies. You would cut them into pieces and sell and give the body parts to dogs. And to the southern kingdom, that's a whole horrific thing in itself. You had buck breaking. You had
Mm-hmm.
Esau making a man sleep with his sister and his mother to
Mm-hmm.
make a so-called stronger Jake. And that's
Yep.
just during slavery. You got the Reconstruction era, Black Wall Street, Rosewood, the civil rights, the war on drugs era. It all the way up until this day. You Edomites have built up a tab that as it says in that yeah, that cup of your abominations have reached up unto heaven. You've built up a tab that you definitely won't be able to pay back. And as it says in Revelation chapter 18, do double unto her as she has done unto you. And once we get you Edomites in the kingdom, what you did to us is going to look like Sesame Street as compared to what we're going to do to you in the kingdom. And what's going to make it that much better is that it's all going to be in righteousness. It's not going to be all the abominable things you did to us, like again, buck breaking or popping a man's woman in front of him, his women and children in front of him. We're gonna judge you and punish you by the law.
Yeah, because you defiled the Lord's people, man. I got a quick precept just to add to your point. This is Zechariah 2 and 8. But thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory have he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you, but he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. So the Lord is angry because of what you have done to the Lord's people. Like you said, you have defiled the Lord's people, man. All the atrocities that you just named, and that's just some of the examples of what we know of. So you can only imagine what the Lord has seen that we don't know about that He's done to us, man. And it's more
Mm-hmm.
things coming out. It's a book called The Delectable Negro, where Esau pretty much talks about how he used to eat Jake, man. You hear about that with the so-called Native Americans, the tribe of Gad. They was digging up they graves and eating the dead bodies, man. So these are just little things that we know about that Esau was doing to us. How much more, the things that we don't know about. So when we get you in the kingdom, the scripture say, do unto her double, because we're gonna recompense you, in righteousness for all the things that you've done. Like you said, and it's gonna be, light work. What you did to us is gonna be light work compared to what we're gonna do to you in righteousness, man. Because
Mm-hmm.
we ain't gotta, rape your walls in front of you because we're gonna have spiritual power, you know. So what we can do to you is it pales. What you did to us pales in comparison to what we're gonna do to you, man.
Hey, it says we're gonna be able to judge angels. Hey, we're gonna be able to send spirits on. Not only are we gonna be able to kick your ass in physically, we'll be able to use spiritual powers and afflict you with demons and all manner of spirits and apparitions, and be able to put demons on other people to mess with you. Like it, the aspect at which we're gonna really get you Edomites in the kingdom is beyond comprehension, even really for us. But as it
Mm-hmm.
says in Isaiah, we're gonna meditate terrors. Hey, oh, you got it?
Yeah, I was getting it. Yeah,
Hey,
straight.
you got
Uh, trying to find it. You say it's in Isaiah.
con,
You go on. I'm gonna look for it.
But hey, as it says, when the brother's going to find the precept, but it says we're going to meditate terrors. And brothers right now are meditating all manner of terrors to do to you Edomites. And that's just us in these bodies right now, these broken down bodies. So how much more in those new spiritual bodies when our minds are going to be fully accessed at 144%.
I got it. This is Isaiah 33 and 18. Thine heart shall meditate terror. Where is the scribe? Where is the receiver? Where is he that counteth the towers? The main point, like you said, is that it says thy heart shall meditate terror. So we're constantly thinking of ways of how we're gonna destroy you when we in the kingdom of heaven, man. And like you said, we're gonna have them angelic bodies on the spiritual power. So whatever comes to mind that we think about doing to you, we're gonna be able to do it to you, man. You know? And so you're gonna be wishing for the Sabbath day when you're gonna be able to get some rest, man, because you're gonna be getting your ass kicked 6 days out the week, man. To the point where hey, you're gonna be praying for the Sabbath day, man, because everything's gonna rest on the Sabbath day. But even then, hey, you're gonna be recovering from that ass whooping. Hey, you're gonna wish the Sabbath was every day, man.
If I could say real quick, what did the heathens call the Most High in the past? Elishadja, the great demon-like power. And if
Yep.
we're the sons of the power, what would that? If you put two and two together, what's that going to make us? The sons of the sons of the great demon-like power. We're going to be like our father and our big brother Yahushua. We're going to have that perfected hatred in us when we get the laws, statutes, and commandments in us. So there ain't going to be an ounce of mercy you can beg for in the kingdom.
That's right. You got it, Shema.
God. Yeah, which is just to that point, because brothers is going back and forth. I mean, going into all the atrocities that this devil has done to our people, right? If any of you brothers can get Second Thessalonians. Oh, well, I can read.
Also got a precept for you too.
This is Second Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. And what? Like the brother, I'm one of saying to the spirit, we can't even really go into everything that this devil has done to us, man. And these heathens have put us through. We can only give you what we know of, man. And we can still sit here for hours on end speaking about the things that they've done to our people, man. And still we'll be falling short, man. So what? To the Most High, according to the Most High, right? It is a righteous thing, right? For recompense, payback to come to those that troubled us, man. And we know, of course, the vengeance is with the Lord. We're not going to gird up weapons. We're not going to get guns. We're not going to spend all of our time in shoot range, right? Trying to perfect our aim. That the Lord is going to fight for us, But what? It is when we're out on the highways and byways talking about how these devils is going to go into slavery, these heathens are going to go into slavery, and we're going to rule this world in righteousness. That is a righteous thing that we're saying, man. It is very okay with the Lord, man, because like the brothers was going into, we touched the apple of his eye, man. How would you feel if somebody just came up and smacked your son right in the face, right next to you? That's your kid, man. Don't nobody love the kid more than the father, than the parent. And it's likewise with the Heavenly Father and the children of Israel, man.
Hey, and speaking of the children, not only did you Edomites do things to the men and the women, but especially the children. Back during the slave times, you would take a Judite boy and not only feed him to alligators, but you'd also bury some up to their neck and see who could kick the child's head off. And then in the 40s and up until the 60s, they had two games. They had a Hit the Nigger Baby, where they take a Judite girl, a little girl, like probably 5, 6, or 7, and put her face in a bullseye target and see who could hum a baseball at her face. And then they had another game called Hit the Trigger, Dunk the Nigger, where they put Jake in like a little dunk booth and see who could hit the trigger and dunk the nigger. So if it says we're going to do double unto you as you did unto us, that's not just going to be to the Edomite man. That's going to be to the Edomite woman, the Edomite elders, and especially the children. And that's what's coming in the kingdom of heaven. And this is just a little example of that in Psalms 137. I'm going to start at verse 7. Remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. And that was talking about ancient Babylon, when they helped the ancient Babylonians to take down the southern kingdom. But what did they do during the Grecian captivity with Antiochus? They put those abominable sacrifices on the altar, and killed Israelite women who wanted to circumcise their children, and made it a law that if you tried to follow the practices, they'd kill you. And then what did we have? 70 AD, where they raised the second temple to the ground, and killed a lot of Israelites there. And then it's gone all throughout history, when they came to the Americas, and brought and oppressed the northern kingdom, and then brought the southern kingdom to the Americas and oppressed them. What they do? Even though Jakes were calling themselves other things, they took away that identity and put these false identities and bywords on us, and treat us as the bottom of the barrel today. And they're trying to do it now with these different agents, like your Vocab Malones, or even YouTube taking our videos down. They're trying to raise this spiritual temple.
Yeah.
But this is verse 8.
I want to ask, they're pretty much doing that because they're afraid of that judgment coming back upon them. That's why they're trying to erase the history. That's why you having that whole debate with the was it critical race theory or whatever it's called? You know, trying to hide the atrocity of slavery, because they know that recompense is coming for them, man.
Right. They had a.
That's why I said. I'm slacking. Go ahead.
Oh, you got it. Right.
That's why I was about to say, trying to cover everything up. That's why the scriptures say, and Lord willing, we'll get it. For the violence against our brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. Man. They're ashamed. They're of course we don't know repentance with Esau. They don't, they're evil to the core. But what? They're trying to hide all that stuff because all that stuff is coming up to the forefront, man. Because the Lord is making all these things manifest that to who the wicked really is, man. And it's concerning Esau, man, the so-called white man, and all that's about to come right to the forefront to where they can't hide anything, man.
And just to back up what you said, Amawan, hey, in their spirit, these Edomites know that great payback's coming. There was an Edomite comedian named Louis C.K. who did he did a comedy skit a couple of years ago where he said time travel only works for white people, because if we go back to any time in the past, hey, we can get a front row seat to everything and have a good time. But if we go to the future, hey, they're literally going to bend us over and have their way with us. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And no, we're not going to sodomize you, but we are going to have our way with you righteously. And again, it's not just going to be the man, it's going to be the woman, the elderly, and as it's about to go into the children as well. You got to pay for kicking those Judite kids' heads off and feeding them to alligators, as well as hit the nigger baby and hit the trigger and dunk a nigger. This is back in Psalms 137, verse 8. O daughter of Babylon, showing a clear connection between these Edomites and Babylon the Great, the United States of America, who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee, as thou hast served us. Do double unto her as she has done unto you. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. And that speaks for itself. We're going to be playing Basra baby baseball in the kingdom.
Yeah.
Righteous. And that shows you that the Lord's going to play his anger on us, because you read that scripture and a person in the flesh thinking like, man, that's kind of harsh, but fuck that. They were doing that to us back in the old days, man. To the point where, hey, Jake had to have what they call them, laugh barrels, to where if something, like I say, if an Edomite tripped or something, he tripped and fell or something, if Jake was caught laughing, they could have been put to death. So they had to go find the barrel and stick their head in it and laugh in it, man. So you can only imagine, like, when the Lord put his anger on us, because you gotta understand, our anger ain't shit compared to the Lord's anger, man. So he's gonna have to put more anger for us to be able to do what we're gonna do to you in the kingdom of heaven, man.
Yep,
you got.
That's right. Yep, that's right. I'm gonna get
real quick. I want in that First Thessalonians or Second Thessalonians 1:6. I want to go into that word recompense real quick. And that word recompense, it means to repay, to requite, It says in a bad sense, penalty and vengeance. So this is the vengeance of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man, because the Lord wants payback for what you have done to His people. So that's why the scriptures, I forget where it's at, but the scriptures tell you that the vengeance is in the day. The vengeance is in the Lord's heart, man. The day of vengeance in the Lord, because he's ready to see Esau get his comeuppance, man. You know, because this devil, you know, prays around the earth talking about justice, justice, justice. But whenever everybody wants to see justice from him, he plays the shaggy card. It wasn't me, you know. He tries to back, you know. So that shit shows you that this man he's void of judgment, man. All right, so he's gonna get it the hard way, man. You know, because the Lord is gonna put that spirit on his men to put a whole foot up your ass, man, and it's rightly deserved, man. You know, you got it.
Yeah, that's true, man. This is Well, let me read that over. I'm gonna read that over again. That Thessalonians. Well, I don't need to read it again. We kind of went over, but just to back off that point, that you know, so it's a righteous thing. Like you come into this lesson and you hear and you come right to the part where brothers is laughing and joking about stoning little Edomite babies. You know what I'm saying? You like, hey man, what's wrong with them brothers? Them brothers is hardcore. Nah, man, this is a righteous thing, man, that we're talking about, man. This is okay with the Bible, right? This is okay to be talking about, man, because these people have, man, they have done many things, the stuff that we don't go off the stuff that you know, that we've done research on and done history on, man, you know, and done research on history, because man, I'm sure some things that they've done that they ain't even told us, man, you know. So when we get into the kingdom, man, that's why the Lord said that he was gonna put that spirit on us, man, because we're in this flesh, and for some of the believers, it might be hard to think that they're gonna put a little Edomite baby to death. Or it's hard to think that, well, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. But once the Lord unlocks our mind to remember all the things or generations of old that we have went through, it ain't gonna be, man. Once the Lord shows you about how you were snatched out of your mother's womb and then you was later fed to an alligator, it ain't gonna be a hard thing, man.
Yeah, because just to add to that point, you gotta realize that this is all the Most High is doing. Because you hear, like you said, you hear brothers talking like that, and you thinking like, yo, why would y'all want to do that? But you gotta understand all the shit that Esau was doing. You would think what man could do that, but the Most High put the spirit on Esau to do all these atrocious acts that he done unto us. So you can only imagine what he's gonna put us to do to him, man. Because this is the Lord that's in control of everything, man. You know.
Yep. And if I could just and you say, like, how could we be saying these things? But man, I remember my grandfather. Quick testimony. My grandfather was born in 1928. Man, my grandfather today would be. I can't do the math right in my head, but he'd probably be around 90 years old right now if he was still alive. He was born in 1928, and before he passed, he told me that he witnessed a man being burned alive. He was hung by a noose, and he was being burnt alive and with a flame at the bottom of his foot. The fire wasn't touching him, man. This is a torture method where you put the fire just below his foot, and him being high enough to where he's not actually in the fire, because we know heat rises. So as he's choking to death with the noose, he's being literally like a slow burn, man, a slow burn to death, man. And you think the story would stop right there with how wicked that it gets. No, man, there was little babies and little kids roasting marshmallows with the fire, man. As the little kids, and they were taking family photos and family pictures, man. And saying all that to say, that's why you have people today that say, well, I would never do that. I would never do this. You was back in the spirit, you were the same ones. You might not have put him on that tree, but you was the same little kid roasting the marshmallow, man, up under that dead man's feet, man. You know, that same spirit is coming. So it ain't gonna be hard. That same spirit gonna be back on us. You thinking that, well, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can repay this devil for what he did. We should just let bygones be bygones. Nah, when the Lord put that spirit on you, man, it's gonna come in full effect.
Con, hey,
right. So
I got a story too. Like, I was talking to this old Gadite woman who looked like Judah, but she was Gad, and she was telling me that just back in the 50s, her and a friend of hers and her husband were running away from some Edomites that were chasing them, and they caught up to her friend and her husband, and they killed the man, and they hung the woman from the tree and cut her baby out of her stomach, and like she had to hide under a cow, and the cow started shitting on her head, and if she would have moved, they would have got her. And this is just in the 50s, so this is just a couple of decades ago. So this this
Like,
this
damn.
this, this red beast, this red dog, this red monkey is got. Hey, we're just meditating tears right now, and in the
Man,
kingdom that tear is gonna be on a whole nother level.
I got a precept, man. Just going into all this. This is Isaiah 63:4. For the day of vengeance, it's like Isaiah 34:8. For it is the day. No, I had it right. Isaiah 63:4. For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. So you gotta understand, Yahweh Shai, when he returns, man, he's bearing that anger of Yahweh. So when he comes and starts, putting these damn heathen, mainly Esau, and 2/3, the one that want to side with Esau, man, he starts
Okay.
putting y'all to death. He ain't gonna feel 1 ounce of remorse because that righteous indignation is in Yahweh Shai's heart from Yahweh to do all that, man. And he's gonna put that same spirit on his men in the kingdom of heaven, man, because that vengeance, the Lord has witnessed all these atrocities for years, man. And
Mhm.
like I said, all these hearing these different testimonies or whatever, that should put a fire under you, man. To want to get
Mhm.
your hands on the devil, man. Watching these different slave movies, these documentaries and all that, you can kind of get an understanding of why the Lord is so mad because it pisses us off to see the state of our people now. You can only imagine for the ones that had to sit there and witness those type of events, man.
Hey,
That's
Baba
right.
Kashai, read verse 1 in Isaiah 63 to see exactly who Yahweh Shai is coming to visit personally.
Kind. Isaiah 63:1. Who is this that cometh from Edom? That cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra. That is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Yeah,
Mm.
you got it, Rod.
Oh, and say who, and we know that who is this is Yahweh Shai. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? And we know that Basra was an ancient chief city of the Edomites, and modern day Basra would be America. So not only is Yahweh Shai coming for you Edomites, but he's especially coming for Babylon the Great, spiritual Basra, the United States of America. And that's just the appetizer. You still got that 1,000 year, well, before the beginning of that 1,000 years is these elites of these Edomites getting rounded up and having chains slapped on them like the rats they are, and then you Edomites that survive in Europe and these other countries getting rounded up and getting put into slavery, and then you bringing through your loins all these Edomites that got destroyed in America straight into slavery. There is not a once Yahweh Shai cracks those clouds, there's not even a there's not an ounce of mercy or the smallest violin that will be played for you Edomites out there.
Nope, nope.
Yeah,
Because everything that's
that's right.
to you is warranted. And that's why these Edomites are so afraid, especially these elites. That's why you hear stories about them getting all these different heart transplants, trying to live
Mhm.
because they don't want to die and be born into slavery, man. So they're trying to
Mhm.
outlive this because they think in their feeble little mind that they're gonna possibly offset policy, which is gonna fail you completely. Real quick, this is James 2:19. Thou believest that there is one God, thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. And why do they tremble? Because they know when Yahweh Shah returns, man, he's coming with destruction. All right, he's coming to put you damn devils into slavery, man. You know, so you elites are going to be the first crop of the slave that's going to go into them chains. And like you said, we're going to have breeding farms like you did for us. You know, we're going to have you in the fields working from sun up to sundown. And it's gonna go back to some long days, man. It ain't gonna be like now where shit you you feel the damn week run by. No, it's gonna be one day gonna feel like an eternity, man. And like you said, ain't gonna be an ounce of fucking sympathy for you, man. You know, because you go into all like I said, another example. You go into the back into the plantation days, man. You had Jake out there from the fucking dawn to dusk, man. If you was old enough to walk, you was in that damn field. You can go on Google and type in. You can see pictures of toddlers out in the field with a damn sack, man. You know, you picking that cotton, your damn hands bleeding, and if you don't come back with that right quota, all right, they cut your damn hand off, man. You know. So this say we ain't gonna have an ounce of sympathy for you when we get your ass in the kingdom, man. And they know that. That's why they're afraid. That's why they fear you. How about Shemi Shai? That's why they want to try to, turn the thoughts of 2/3 to the point to where the Lord just want to do away with all Israel, but not. He kept a remnant. He don't give a damn about the 2/3 right now, man. They're spiritual heathen alongside you, man. So they're gonna die with y'all Edomites, man.
Hey, if I could say real quick, to back up what the brother Shawai was saying earlier about how you have some we'll just put it like, of course you're gonna have sincere Akim that first hear this word and it sounds rough, but the Spirit's gonna allow them to understand what we're saying. But for you Jakes, you 2/3, you're just weak. That's what it is. That say, how can you talk about doing that to children or Edomites, or it was in the past and all that? Well, just to back up what the brother was saying, it's going to be an easy thing in the kingdom. Not only is the Most High going to put the Spirit on us to do it, but like the brother was saying, he's going to unlock our minds to see our past lives and see what this devil really did. You're going to see how that Edomite ravished your woman, maybe even in front of you, killed your children, killed your parents, not just during slavery, but back in Greece, Rome, and in the periods leading up to now. You're just gonna need you're gonna need that spiritual body to be able to contain all that information that's just gonna come at you all at once, and that's just gonna further boil over that pot of anger and vengeance and judgment.
And to add to that even further, all you that's like, well, I would never do that. In the kingdom, the Lord's gonna put the Spirit on you to be like that, man. And just to add to that point, this is Proverbs chapter 21, verse 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. All right. So the Lord is gonna put the Spirit on you to do His will, man. All right. So for all those jakes that's in that mind frame, well, I would never do that to no children. I would never do that to no person. All right. Well, you're gonna die on this side. You're gonna come back in the kingdom, and you're gonna have the Spirit to do whatever it is that we're talking about doing, man, because that's the Lord. It's the will of the Lord for Israel to put a foot in Esau's ass, man, because that's what the prophecy is gonna say we're gonna do to him in the kingdom. That's part of having slaves, man. Property. You can do whatever the hell you want with property. That's why Esau is able to do what he wants to us now, man. To this day, we may not be physically in chains, but shit, he still has our way to the point where if you get put over, and that cops were like smoking your ass, he gonna smoke you and get off scot free, man. So you can only imagine we get the power to see what we're gonna do, man. But that Spirit is gonna be put upon you, and it will be, well, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, because the angels, are we not angels as well? Do not the angels follow the Lord's will without question to ask? So we're gonna do the same thing, man.
If I could say,
oh, kind of, you got it.
If I could just say too real quick, I mean, me and some of the brothers down here joke about it sometimes. Hey, you 2/3 might go harder on these Edomites than we do in the kingdom, because you're coming back in your right mind. You're coming back in your right mind, and you're gonna see that this man made me lose salvation because I believed in him. I believed I was black. I believed I was African. I believed I was a sodomite. Imagine. He made me think it was okay to be a Pop-Tart. Imagine, hey, me and the brothers that joked about this too. Imagine Little Nas X in the kingdom being the most brolic Jake with the biggest beard in the kingdom, put his foot sideways in the ass of Esau.
Yeah. They look back on they past lives and be like, yo, what the fuck, man? They're gonna be the main ones getting the Esau, man. And these women too. Women gonna be getting into them because Eve is vindictive, so they're gonna be they maid servants and they heathen servants. They're gonna be fucking them up too, just like the Shedemite back in slavery. The brothers that seen Mandingo, see how she got them, did him dirty, which our women not gonna do that. They ain't gonna sleep around us, but they're gonna be fucking them up too, man. All Israel gonna have spiritual power. Men, women. Are gonna have spiritual power. So hey, we're gonna have a field day with you damn devils, man.
And not to digress, but that's gonna be full circle, especially coming to the point of sticking our foot in Esau's ass, but also too, because our people gonna be in a whole different mindset, especially like the brothers who say like, "Oh man, I only need one woman," or "I ain't messing with no heathens in the kingdom." Man, them
Right.
same brothers gonna be the Dr. Umar brothers. They gonna be the same one. They're gonna have the most Edomite concubines. Like we just gonna be a whole different level. I'm saying all that to say we're gonna be on a whole different level. Like your mind state is not gonna be the same at this point to when we're in the kingdom, man. So don't if you don't have that understanding now, you might. So 2/3 of people got to die and come back, and that's just what it is. But us who are in that spirit now, when we be a part of that number, we're gonna see it firsthand. But let me I'm gonna grab this real quick. This is Psalms 148, verse 14. Just to land back off that Revelations 13 and 9. He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him, praise ye the Lord, right? Just proving that the saints are the people, so-called Negro Latinos, Native Americans, right? The true biblical Hebrew Israelites. And this is the honor that we're going to have in the kingdom, man. So I'm going to jump down from right into this chapter 149, start at verse 5. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. And this is literal, man. We're going to finally have rest in the kingdom of heaven. We're going to literally be able to wake up and be enjoyed that we're not in captivity under this devil anymore, man. Verse 6, let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand. Verse 7, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. So what? We're literally gonna be doing this to the heathens and executing judgment to these people, man. That's why when we go back to 2 Thessalonians 1 and 6, Revelations 13 and 9, this is a righteous thing that we're talking about, man. What we're talking about, man, is this is written in the scriptures, man. We're literally going to be executing judgment upon these. See, this is how you know. This is also letting you know that in the kingdom that everybody not going to be on the same playing field, man. Because if that were true, then there would be no point to execute judgment upon the heathen and the people, man. Because we all be on the same accord, we all be one and the same, but we're not. It's going to be level. It's going to be the nation of Israel, and then it's going to be everybody else. The nation of Israel are going to be built up on a spiritual level, and then these heathens are going to be regular mortals that have to follow after the rules of Yahweh Shem Shai, man. And the kings and the nobles, the elect, the elite of these of E, they're going, of course, y'all gonna make it past the destruction. Y'all gonna make it through the nuclear destruction and all that because y'all got y'all bunkers. Y'all spend billions on y'all bunkers to deliver yourselves from this nuclear holocaust. But what? Y'all gonna be the first fruits of the slaves of the kingdom of heaven, man. They're gonna be having chains upon your necks just like you did us, man. I'm finished. Yep. I'm finish out real quick. Verse 9, to execute upon them the judgment written. This is the honor. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord. That's why I went, prove with the scriptures who the saints are, because this honor, the judgments that is written and the prophecies to come, is the honor given to the elected nation of Israel first and foremost, but then, the rest of the nation once they be born back into the kingdom, man.
Right.
Yeah, I just had a two to back up that Psalms 149. But real quick, hey, where you elites are hiding, whether it be in a low orbit space station, an undersea bunker, an underground bunker, that's nothing more than a luxury prison for you, a luxury holding cell. Because as a brother was saying, you're gonna survive these calamities, but that's just so you can get dragged out of those holes like the filthy rat that you are, and get those chains slapped on you and a shovel thrown in your hand and heard say get to digging, boy, get to digging, red boy. But the first precept I wanted to bring out, just to back up the end of that Psalms 149, where it says, "This is the honor of all his saints." This is what Yahushua said in Psalms It's like in Revelation chapter 2, I'm going to start at verse 25. But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come. This oil, this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that we have right now, that we're diligently holding on to, and praying to the Most High that we endure and are of that number that gets saved, and be of that elect, and be of the first fruits that get the first fruits of you heathens, begin with you elites in the kingdom. Verse 26,
Mm-hmm.
and he that overcame cometh and keepeth my works unto the end. And remember, this is Yahushua speaking in red letters. To him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken in shivers, even as I received of my Father. And it says in Romans chapter 8 that we're going to be joint heirs with Yahushua Hamashiach. Hey, he's going to get the heathens as a heritage, and we're going to get him as well. And he's going to rule over him with a rod of iron and rule over him vigorously, and we're going to do the same. He's not going to show any mercy to you, and neither are we. And again, as it says back in that Psalms 149, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. You elites and you other higher ups are going to be the first fruits of slavery, and there's going to be a turning. The curses are going to be on you. Like it says in Deuteronomy 28, we were the head, but we became the tail, and you as the tail became the head. Everything's going to get right-sided up. You're going to go back to being where you always were, a damn tail, wiping away flies and dog shit. And hey, you're going to come bowing to us in the kingdom and lick the dust off of our feet, as it says in
Yeah.
Psalms 49, verse 23. And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth, and lick up the dust of thy feet. And thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, for they
Yep.
shall not be ashamed that wait for me. The patience and the faith of the saints. Right there, it says that
Yeah.
you Rothschilds, you Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, any of these other hidden hands or the elites out here, you're gonna bend down unto our feet and metaphorically lick up the dust of our feet. You're gonna be in a low position. You're gonna be the lowest of the low in the kingdom. Just like the men of the Lord are looked at as the lowest of the low on this side, even though we're the Abarat Desire, we're of that number, we're the highest of the high, the creme de la creme. You're looked at as the creme de la creme on this side. So in the kingdom, you're going to be looked at as dog shit.
Yeah. Scriptures tell you the first shall be last and the last shall be first, man. You devils gonna go back to where y'all supposed to be on the bottom, man. That's why the prophecy it says that the elder shall serve the younger, man. Esau came out with Jacob holding his heel with the symbolic of pulling him out of power, man. So that's showing you that hey, you devils are gonna be slaves, man. That's why they're trying to hide. That's why they're trying to offset profit. They're trying to genocide Israel off the map because they don't want that, man. But the Lord, He said this. I actually had three real quick. Uh, just to back up what you said, Ra'ad. This is Isaiah 14:2. It
Oh, that's the
says,
spirit.
give a context. It says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined unto them, and they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob," which the strangers are talking about the Israelite foreigners, "and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and for handmaids, and they shall take them captive who captive they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors," because we're gonna own you slaves. We're gonna own you as slaves, man. Just how we're owned as slaves here, you know. We're gonna do that to you devils, man. All right. As I said, you're gonna be your kings are gonna be nursing fathers. Your women are gonna be nursing mothers. You know, you're gonna be maids. You're gonna be the first custodians, cleaning up all the dead bodies once Yahweh takes the kingdom down, man. So you're gonna have continual employment. You ain't gotta worry about not taking no days off or trying to find a job. You're gonna have continual employment until the day that your nation is eradicated. I can tell you in Obadiah 1:18. Now I want to get this in Lamentations 4:21. It says, "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked." Right. So that cup, talking about that affliction, that slavery. All right, is going to pass from the nation of Israel and be passed unto you down you devils and the rest of the heathen, man. You know, but mainly talking about you Edomites, man. All right. It says the punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins, because the Lord is about to take his people out of captivity. And once we're delivered from this captivity, we will never, ever, ever, ever go back into slavery ever again under no nation, because this kingdom that's going to be established under Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah is going to be eternal. Going back to that promise that the Lord made with King Solomon, which was Yahweh Shah in the reincarnation. All right, so he's going to revisit your iniquity, and you're going to pay for all the horror that you've done, not only to the nation of Israel, but to the earth and the other nations as well. The other nations are going to be having a foot in their ass too, man. We're going to have taskmasters. You're going to be having them damn Hamites in the flip flops whipping your ass in the kingdom. You know, hey, the other nations are going to be fucking you up too, man, because everybody wants a piece of Esau, man. You see that now. So how much more when you're put back in the bottom, and that fear is taken off of these other people, because that fear is leaving now. That's why you got all these other countries popping shit at you now, man. Because nobody's afraid of big bad America no more, man. Nobody's afraid of them damn rats over there in the land of Israel, you know. And my
If I
last
could
one,
say,
got it,
if I could
go
say
ahead.
real quick, and hey, even though we're going to be putting a foot in the ass of these other heathen nations as well to back you up, they're going to want a piece of you Edomites too, because
Mm-hmm.
they're going to know that they're getting their shit kicked in because they followed under you, afflicting us on this side. So they're like, man, we're getting it because we followed after you because you wanted to afflict them. So that's going to make that anger boil just as much in them as it is Israel in the kingdom.
Yeah, and it's gonna be so bad to where, hey, they're gonna be glad they're not Edomites, man. Everybody, even though they're gonna be getting their ass whooped, they're gonna be, hey, thank God we're not an Edomite, because hey, they're gonna see what we doing to Esau and be like, damn, I'm glad, yo, yo,
Yep.
because they say you just look, they say it's pictures. You got Edomites using little Jake kids as fucking stools, you know, having they resting their feet on their backs. You know, of course, you seen what's that movie, Birth of Nation? They had our people on leashes and shit. Little Edomite babies, had us on leashes. So, hey, they're gonna see what we doing to Esau and be like, yo, thank God we're the Edomite. So finishing out, this is Isaiah 51 verse. I'm gonna start at 17 and jump. It says,
Come on.
awake, awake, stand, O Jerusalem, which has drunk the hand of the Lord, the cup of his fury. Thou hast drunken the dregs of the cup of trembling and wrung them out, right? And that's talking about the slavery and affliction that we have had as a people. So I'm gonna jump down to verse 21. Now, therefore, hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, thy power and pleadeth thy cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out thine hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground and as the street to them that went over. So the Lord's going to put this cup to our enemies, man. All right. As it tells you, I believe that's what Deuteronomy 32:7. You're going to put the curses upon, the heathen,
Count
So
30 and 7.
30:7, Baba Kashai. If you can get that real quick.
I
But
got you. I got it right here. You want it
yeah,
now?
yeah, you go ahead.
Count. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7. And Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
And that's that cup being passed from us unto them, man. Those curses, man. All right. So Esau's going to experience his wife, having that evil eye towards him, man. Their children disrespecting them, being cursed when they come in and cursed going out. Everything from Deuteronomy, all the curses in Deuteronomy 28 is going to fall upon them, man. So they're going to experience that, man. You know, and the difference between Esau and the other nations is after 1,000 years, all right, these other nations are going to be able to go back to their lands, and be able to live in their lands. They're going to be tributaries unto us, but they're still going to be able to, go back to their lands and reap the benefits of the kingdom of heaven. But Esau, after 1,000 years, he's gonna be done away with as a nation. So it's not gonna be any more Edomites, to see on the earth no more, man. That's a beautiful thing that we wait for, man. I can't imagine. Like I said, I can't imagine. I can't wait for the day to where we ain't never gonna have to see no pale skinned people again, man. You know.
Mm-hmm.
If I can back you up real quick with the curses, hey, we're already starting to see the curses go on these Edomites. The when Esau's starting to get put on child support and get a divorce ravished, since we can't use that word.
Mm-hmm.
You got it's a epidemic of Edomite women getting plugged up by Jakes out here. It's not just
Mm-hmm.
the middle-aged Edomite women, it's the younger ones, it's all the way down to the teens. Esau's becoming the biggest drug addict out here with the fentanyl and the opioid crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Esau's losing his jobs now, and all these
Yep.
other nations are looking at you as the problem. Like they used to look at Jake as, oh, this is a nigger and a no good person. What are they calling you now? A colonizer? Get out of my country. You're the reason everything's bad. Hey, you're starting to be looked at as what you always were, the real niggers on the face of the earth.
They're the
Mm-hmm.
original niggas.
Yeah,
It started with Esau. All niggas are now just a byproduct of Esau, man. He
that's right.
spent years cultivating Jake to be like him. So what you see now is just Jake embodying their Edomite nature, man.
Yeah,
Which is
that's
another
right.
reason why I was gonna fuck him up.
Kind.
That's right. That's right. I'm gonna grab something real quick. It was kind of going into what you saying. What you're saying. This devil being cast down. Well, I'm gonna just get this revelation. I meant to ask you to get this earlier, but while we was in it, but it's the Lord. This is Spirit. This Revelations 12:10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, "Now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our power, and the power of His anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down." Right. So what? A part of our kingdom being set up, a part of the Most High and His anointed, the elect under Lord Yahushua, a part of our kingdom being brought up is what? The casting down of this devil and his kingdom, man. Him going into slavery, him having the curses on him, man. This devil and his society is going to come down. Of course, it's all going to end with the Lord coming back, and they're going to try to fight against the Lord and things and such like that. But that's going to be the beginning of what? Of everything that the Lord promised unto the nation of Israel and the downfall of our enemies, man. It reads on, verse 10 reads on, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accuse them before the Most High day and night. And how's he accusing us, man? Habakkuk 2:15. He said, "Woe to them that giveth his neighbor drink," right? And so to show his shame, roughly paraphrasing. I know I butchered that, but roughly paraphrasing, because that's what that devil did, along with putting us in captivity and putting us in slavery. That weakened us to the point to where now he can give us the philosophies and give us give us how to succeed in his society, and then turn around and go to the Lord and say, "What? Look at your people. Look how they're doing. Look at all the things that they're doing now. They're not following out the ways you set out for them. That all these things are a part of this devil putting us into captivity, because what? That's what the problem is with our people, thinking that they're free right now, thinking that the Emancipation Proclamation set them free. To emancipate just means to transfer, man.
Yep.
We went from slaves. We went from slaves in a with a private owner to being slaves of the state, man. Abraham Lincoln said that if he could have kept the Union together without freeing the slaves, he would have did that. But what?
Mm-hmm.
He know that in order to get to where the work had been done, man, the physical part of building the kingdom had been done, man. So the second part of furthering the kingdom is keeping the minds of the slaves. Yeah, we'll take the chains off of them, but keeping the minds of the slaves, have them further in our society. The reason why America is the way it is today is because you got slaves who think they're free, man. You know?
Right. And that's why Jake trusts so much in the government, because when you go into that word government, it means mind control, man. You know,
Mm-hmm.
govern means control, man. It go back to your mind, man. So they're controlling your mind by thinking that you need to be dependent on him, man. And like I said, them giving you black culture, them giving you everything that you think is what makes you a so-called black man, black woman. All that compels in comparison of what Yahweh Shem Shah made you to be, man. You're an Israelite, man. One of the chosen people. All right. So you have to come. Well, we have to come back until what the Lord made us, not what this devil told us we are, man. That's why when you start and get into history, you gotta go back before slavery time, man. Stuff that they don't tell you about. This devil ain't gonna tell you things that's gonna make you believe in yourself. That's gonna make you better, you know. So this is why he's gonna pay, man, because he wants to keep our people in a slave mentality, man. That's why the scripture tell you is Jacob slave. Why is he spoiled? Because they're spoiled because they have no knowledge, man. They don't have any knowledge or understanding of who they are and who they're supposed to be serving, man. You know.
That's right. I was gonna grab this Obadiah real quick if your brothers don't have nothing. This Obadiah 1, Obadiah verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. You know, we had quoted it earlier, right? For thy violence against thy brother Jacob. What this devil ever since he what's that, Genesis 27, ever since this devil since our forefather Isaac passed away, what he said in his heart, he made a covenant with himself, man. That what he was gonna put Jacob to death. He was gonna pursue Jacob with the sword, roughly paraphrase. He was gonna kill Jacob, man. And that's what he's been doing ever since then, man, putting you Jake to death, man. So for that violence, for that perpetual hatred, shame shall cover you. That's why you got all this race critical. That's why you got them trying to snatch all the truth out of these books and out of schools from teaching what really happened. That's why he stripped us of our nationality, our heritage, so we wouldn't know. Right? Yep. So we wouldn't know. So he did all that because the Lord is making everything known, man. And for that same hatred, for that same violence, they're gonna be cut off forever. As we're gonna read, Lord willing, at the end of this chapter. I'm gonna jump to verse 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. And going into all the heathen, man. The day of the Lord is upon all the heathen, chiefly the so-called white men, right? As we were going to, of course, these heathens have had their, had their hand in everything, man. Whether it be building the ships and all these other things, other captivities that they put our people in. Right, so they're all gonna catch whatever part you had in the downfall of the nation of Israel is gonna be returned unto your head, man.
That's right.
Yep. Verse 16. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. Right. And they're gonna drink of that cup of slavery, that cup. That same thing that we just read through in the scriptures, man. Everything that we had to go through, that holy mountain, which is the nation of Israel, once you touch the Lord's eye, that everything has been written down, man. Everything, every atrocity, every captivity, everything that might not be known now is already known to the Lord, man. There's nothing that you can hide to the Lord. So everything that you put the nation of Israel through is going to come right back on you, man. You got to drink of that same cup, man. And so you got to swallow it down. Ain't no slow sips, man. You got to take the full dregs of the cup, man. The whole thing, man. You know, until every last bit. That's different between the other heathen nations and E. As we're going to read on, their judgment is a little different from the rest of these other nations. But that whole course slavery, they all have to drink that, man.
Hey, I wanted to add to that point. You spoke about the dregs. You know, when you get into the dregs of the cup, man, that's the most bitter part of it, man. You know?
Yep.
You know, like the kombuchas and different tinctures. When you get to that bottom part and you drinking the dregs, man, that shit is pretty much been soaking in all that. So that's the most bitter part. So Esau's going to drink every last bit of that, man, because he's going to face every single thing he did. You got to think about it. He has defiled everything that the Lord made sacred, man. You know, and I can add to that point real quick. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 8. verse 25, 7:25. It says, "And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and to think to change times and laws, and they shall be given in his hand until times and dividing of time." So this devil has pretty much destroyed everything the Lord made sacred, man. So this world operates completely on a demonic scale, to down the vibrations of things, man. You know, the seeds and everything is messed up because this devil has polluted everything. So that's why the Lord is going so hard and telling Esau his judgment, man. You're gonna pay for every last thing that you've done, going all the way back to the serpent, because through you have entered into the world. Because the scriptures tell you in Wisdom of Solomon, the Lord created man to be mortal. Man, talking about is the Israelites, man. All right, we weren't created to die, man. The Lord doesn't take pleasure killing people, man, because He wants the people to worship Him, man. You know, so you're gonna pay for everything that you've done. You know, you got it.
That's right. Yep. Yep. Just to close it on it, just finish it on out. Verse 17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. Right, and you know that's going right back to the point before Isaiah 14, man. Right, these other nations, man, are going to be we're going to possess them, man. Their property, man. Just like we were property, man. Just like we were stocks, right? These other nations, the Lord said He made the world for our sakes anyway, man. So
Right.
and so you know, so and everything in it, including these heathens, man. You know. Verse 18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. And that's simple, man. The house of Jacob, the house of Joseph, man, we're never going to be split again. We're going to be one kingdom, united in Yahweh Shai. No pun intended, but you know we're never gonna be split again. Once we come together, man. After that 1,000-year slavery of hardcore slavery, of course, the heathens, they're gonna get whatever portion of the land that we give to them, you know. But what Esau, Edom, man, and by that time, man, y'all gonna be running to that pit. Y'all gonna be running to that fire, man, because after them 1,000 years, man, you're just gonna be ready to give everything up, man. You know how Esau is, man. At the sign of one bad thing, they're ready to jump off a building, man. You know, how much more in the kingdom where there's no escape. Once we get them out, man, they're gonna be like, man, we ready, and that's where we're gonna burn all y'all up in that pit, and that's it, man. That's your prophecy. You got it, bro.
Yeah, that's what I asked, because we wasn't that, because hey, we're gonna have the spirit to we're gonna have the power to put your spirit back into your body, so we can kill you multiple times at will when we get you. Because they're gonna want to be put out their misery at that point, man. So this is after your 1,000 years is done with, you're gonna be of no use anymore, because by then it has come to an end. So whatever the Most High has to do with your spirit after you Edomites are done away with, that's to be seen whenever that happens. But we know it's going to be a time in history where the nation of Edom is going to cease to exist, man.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that was in on that Obadiah. Our brother's got anything else?
I'm good.
Nah, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, man. Shoot, hey, look, man.
You got it. Hey, we got it, man. We just gotta hold on. We gotta hold fast, man. Hey, that payback is coming, man. All we gotta do is just sit back and watch the Lord play it out.
Yep, man. The Lord, the Lord is a master of gradualism, man. So He's gonna let everything build up to that climax, man. So we just gotta let the brother say, hold fast, and we're gonna get. Brothers is in that spirit of knowing that payback is coming for us, and we're gonna get back, and we're gonna get back to these devils, man. So that's all. That's the faith and the patience of the saints, man.
That's right. All right, you close it out, bro.
Lord willing, that was edifying, man. Before we do close it out, we want to give our honor and glory and praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh,
Yahweh, Bahashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahawashi,
Ba'ashem,
Bahashem,
Yahushai,
Rakadash.
Ba'ashem, Rakadash. Yep. Next up, the honors to our apostles, elders, great millstone. Taught us the wonders and truth of the Bible and rule well. Peace, love, salutations to all the brothers across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth, diligence and sincerity. Till the next time we say, Shalom.
Wow,
Shalom.
wow.
Yep. DTA.